Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a clip of a fat activist being outraged that they don't carry her size at the store and calling it discrimination. We're also going to be taking a look at a few bonus clips, including one where somebody says when you start setting boundaries, you become ugly to people. Please be sure to check out a video I released over the weekend on my second channel about how JoJo Siwa got booed off stage at a concert and then started freaking out. Here's a link. Before we proceed, please click the like button so that I may apply comb to mustache.
Hi everybody, here I am outside Yours Clothing, and this is a shout out to Yours Clothing on TikTok.
Hey, thanks for mentioning us.
What are you doing?
Oh.
You are discriminating against those of us who are a larger figure. That's what you're doing.
How did they do that?
You're discriminating against anybody who wants to buy something larger than a 26.
So they're discriminating against anybody larger than a size 26 because they don't carry a size larger than size 26. Okie dokie. I've made this comparison before, but that's like saying that Walmart is discriminating against left-handed people because they don't specifically sell a pair of left-handed scissors.
In store, you're only going up to a 26, 28.
Okay, so they go up to a 28. Okay. In store, so they go higher than that online. Okay. What are you complaining about?
That's it. You don't have any 28 separates, and you're only going up to a 26, 28.
This isn't the first time that I've heard an obese person in the UK refer to this as discrimination. I know I mentioned this recently, but here's a prime example of it.
I think that is pretty disgusting, that you're discriminating against all of us who need a 28-30.
Bruh. Unless I'm going shopping at like a children's clothing store, the moment that I can't find any of my sizes in any regular store, I'm completely changing my whole ass life, bro. If I'm a 2X and they don't sell a 2X or a 3X, I'm like, oh, dude, I've grown incompatible with stores.
A 30-32 or separates of 28 plus. I buy all of my clothes in this branch.
Okay, well, they have this thing called the internet.
But not anymore. I don't like ordering online because I can't feel the clothes. I can't see the clothes. I can't see what they're really like when I look at them online. And for me.
Sorry. The British version of that. For me.
Buy them online. Wait for them to be delivered. It's fine. Oh my god, it's discrimination. But then you end up sending half of them back. And there's no guarantee. And at the same time, with all of your charges for sending stuff back, it makes it even more expensive. Totally wrong. Apparently this came into force about 6 months ago. So it shows when I last came to one of your stores.
Dude, I think you have bigger problems, pun intended. Sorry. Then finding your size in the store. The lack of self-awareness that these people have and the demands that they make are completely ridiculous. And you know that at one point they probably did fit into the clothes at the store, and then after enough time has passed, one day they didn't. So it's not really the store that has changed, it is likely you that has changed.
But I think it's disgraceful, and you are discriminating against those of us who are a larger size. I just think it's wrong.
Okay.
I came here to buy a top to wear this evening, and a lovely, lovely shop assistant was helping me out. I was showing her something that I needed to match up to. She was helping me, absolutely fantastic.
It looks like you're in some kind of mobility scooter, so you like can't even walk.
She asked me what size I want.
Or stand up or anything. If we're so large that we can't find our size in store, are we also so large that we can't walk using our own legs and we need a mobility scooter? Because it looks that way. And honestly, that's what you should be focusing on, right? Oh no, they don't have my size in the store. How about, oh no, I literally can't even use my own legs.
And she turned around and said, we don't do that size anymore in store. I don't know what else to say. Yeah. You need to stop discriminating against your customers. Otherwise, you're going to lose a lot of customers. Bye for now.
You literally can't even walk, and you're complaining about the size that they carry in the store. I would be too embarrassed. I'd be like, wait a minute. People might think that I have my priorities backwards here. Like, bro, you're on death's door, and you're over here complaining about a size 28 in the store. Next.
I need to tell you something I'm really mad about. So I found this skirt that Taylor Swift wore to Coachella, and I was like, yes, I'm buying it. $25, perfect. Went to order my size, and look at what happened to the price, because I don't understand. $42.
Because I don't understand. You were going to say your size right there, so I'm not trying to be mean. You're a what? You're a what size now? Okay, so it costs more, but what is your size? You didn't say.
Price, because I don't understand.
How am I to know if this price is justified if I don't know what your size is, right? And this begs the question, is a 2X really twice the size? Am I a stupid moron? Is this a childish question? I feel like it's silly for some reason, but is a 2X really twice the size of a large, I would presume? And if it is, then I wouldn't be shocked if it cost twice the price. She didn't tell us what her size was, though, so we couldn't really determine. I feel like a 2X is not really twice the size, though. It's just the next size up after large. Or is it like twice the size of a small? Twice the size of a medium? I don't know. Leave a comment below. I'm sure one of you knows.
$42.
More material costs more money. Let's see, what was it initially? It was $24.95, or as I like to call it, $25. And then yours is $43. Okay.
$42. Miss Ma'am, why did that go up almost $20?
Miss Ma'am, because it uses more fabric. More things cost more money. I know, it's weird. You know how when you go to the grocery store and you just buy a few things, it costs significantly less than when you buy a whole shopping cart full of food? Same thing, but with clothes. I know, it's crazy. This is a crazy concept to try to wrap our heads around, I know.
Feels like discrimination.
Oh my God, she said it too. Oh, the word has made its way across the pond. Let's go.
$20. This feels like discrimination.
Okay, so we live on a planet where real discrimination actually exists. So I wish you would stop calling this discrimination. Honestly, I really hate that a lot. Next.
Welcome to FaceTime for the Fats, a series where I, a fat, talk about things that only plus-size girlies will understand.
Okay, well, I'm here to understand, my fellow plus-size girly.
I had a war flashback to elementary middle school yesterday, and we need to talk about it.
You had a war flashback from school, okay? So you were chilling in your house, watching TV one day, and all of a sudden, we're gonna run the mile today in PE. This uniform only goes up to a 3X size. Today in health class, we're learning about calories in, calories out.
It was all triggered because someone on my previous video talked about how when they were in theater, they had to be in charge of the curtains because the school didn't have any costumes that would fit them and didn't go out of their way to make sure that there was any.
Okay, I mean, we're doing a lot of hand movements. Does the deer hands, as I call that.
It reminded me of when I was in middle school, when I wanted to play volleyball, and my school didn't have any uniforms in my size, so they made my mom make one.
Okay. Her little facial expression, her little reaction right there.
Make one.
Settle down.
While everyone else on the team ended up having like the matching set, looking really cute, I had to come to games wearing a blue t-shirt with felted letters on it with my school's name and black yoga pants.
Okay, so you were too large to have a uniform and your mom had to make one.
I have many thoughts on this. First things first. All kids ever want to do is belong. It is age appropriate for them to want to socialize.
It is age appropriate for them to want to socialize. Thank you, Professor.
Want to be part of a group, a team. With that includes the habits of going to practice together, meals together, uniforms.
Yeah, so it's messed up when a parent will allow their child to be obese and miss out on all of these things because they couldn't say no. This is all because your parents couldn't say no to you, unless they are also obese. If they are not obese, but you are obese, then they were using food as a reward or to keep you quiet or to raise you or whatever. So you really should be blaming them, not society. Your mom and dad saw that you couldn't do all the activities that the other kids do, and they allowed you to be obese anyway.
So you're gonna sit here and tell me that a child who's already being ostracized and bullied for their body size now also has to endure the extra layer of visibly looking different in another way?
Yeah, your parents should have really taken care of that. I don't know why you're complaining at the school. It's real weird that you're not directing this anger at your parents.
Both within their own team and when they go to new places where they don't know the kids, the parents, who's out there as a threat to them. And that's not even touching the fact that schools will highly encourage plus-size students to participate in team sports, aka shame them and their parents until they do it.
Right, the school is trying to encourage you to exercise more, to get your weight under control so you can be more active like all the other children. It's really easy to see how obesity negatively impacts your life when you see it in the youth, right? You see some kid, he's not running around and doing all the stuff like all the other kids are.
And then not even provide the equipment that they need. Are you kidding me?
You can't be mad at the school for not having these exceedingly large sizes when it's completely outside of the norm for people to be that big, especially kids. I don't know what size you required at that age, but if you couldn't fit into any of the sizes that they had, that should have been a personal wake-up call, like I've said countless times on this show.
And then this translates all the way up through adulthood too. In terms of movement, sports, exercise, it is part of the many ways in which plus-size kids, adolescents, and then into adults are trained to believe that movement isn't for them.
What? Because they didn't have your size, you've been taught that movement isn't for you. Honestly, this just feels like an excuse. When they don't have exceedingly large sizes at the high school, that's teaching obese people that movement isn't for them. So if you go on to never move again for the rest of your life or exercise or do anything to better yourself, it's the school's fault. That's convenient.
That is only for them when they become skinny. What do you want us to do? We want to participate in movement. You systemically exclude us. We don't participate in movement. You shame us and tell us we're gonna die an early death. How do you expect them to go through life, never knowing what...
What? Nobody systemically excluded you because you were too large to fit into the costume or whatever.
We don't participate in movement. You shame us and tell us we're gonna die an early death. How do you expect them to go through life, never knowing which direction to go? And no matter what direction it is, you're gonna be hated for it.
Yikes, dude. You have so many excuses for why everything is somebody else's fault. We're trained to believe that movement isn't for us because you couldn't fit into the size at the school. Apparently not fitting into a uniform back when this person was in high school set them up for failure for the rest of their life. That taught them that movement isn't for her. Ever. Ever again. Wow, that's real fragile, man. You have a problem for every solution. You don't want to succeed. You want to stay at the bottom complaining. Next.
The less you follow hegemonic norms.
Hegemony, of course, being leadership or dominance, especially by one country or social group over others.
The uglier you become. And what I mean by that is the uglier you become to hegemony and to those who believe that that's the only way to exist. And if you don't know what hegemony is, it's basically just the social ordering of somebody somewhere or a culture who said, this is the right way to exist and this is how you should exist.
No. Hegemony is leadership or dominance, especially by one country or social group over others. So when you're complaining about hegemonic beauty standards or whatever, which country or social group is exerting power over us? Our beauty standards and beauty norms, or whatever you want to call it, are not tied into some sort of power struggle of one group over the other at all. They're tied into human reproduction. To try to say that the beauty standards are based on hegemony or some other nonsense is really just a bunch of cope.
When you are a femme or you are feminized, etc., and you start setting boundaries, you become ugly to people.
Translation: when you start acting annoying, people get turned off.
You become grotesque. You become somebody who nobody wants to hang out with. You're just a feminist killjoy, if you will.
So you and Virgie Tovar have been hanging out. Okay, you're reveling in this title. You're proud of it. You're like, yeah, I'm a killjoy. You're not allowed to laugh or smile around me. I could take any fun scenario and make it boring and stupid and start complaining about nothing.
When you start believing that you don't have to be dressing for or existing for inside the male gaze.
Hey, you leave the male gaze out of this. They did not ask to be included in this.
Then you become ugly. And at the same time, you become free. The more you live for yourself and the more you live for your true, authentic being, the more that people who want you to be the way they believe you should be will push away from you.
Okay, so you've isolated yourself from all of your friends and family because you won't stop talking about fat acceptance rhetoric at the Thanksgiving table. That's what I'm getting from this.
And will try to push you back into hegemony.
Stop using the word hegemony, bro. God, get a thesaurus. Is this another one of those, like, you guys would be attracted to me, but society has taught you that obesity is not attractive? Referring to beauty standards as being part of hegemony hits very similarly.
But just a reminder that you don't have to do that. You don't have to go back to hegemony. You get to be exactly how you want to be and living free, living liberated.
Okay, so I can keep being annoying until I isolate myself from my friends and my family. I wasn't rejected by the group for being annoying. I chose to leave the group so I could be free.
Is the biggest thing you can do to piss off every person who cannot liberate themselves.
Whatever you gotta tell yourself, man. Whatever you gotta tell yourself.
I am a plus size model and my brother consistently comments on my armpit hair.
Is this even part of the same video? What the hell? That came out of left field. Let me rewind to make sure that's actually part of the same video. I did not skip to another video on accident, right? Hold on.
Rate themselves. I am a plus size model and my brother consistently comments on my armpit hair.
Okay, this is part of the same video. You didn't even segue into that or anything. That was kind of weird.
And he even said, like, what if you go to the shoot and they tell you to shave it? And I was like, breaking news, I've been to multiple shoots and nobody's ever told me to shave my armpits.
Okay, so what are the criteria for being a model these days? The term really doesn't even mean anything anymore. It just means like a person that they're gonna put clothes on and take pictures of. I know that's what it always meant, but to me, model always meant like you were very attractive to the point where you could just stand there and somebody would pay you. Like, I'm just gonna sit there and you guys are gonna give me money, okay? That meant something to me. And I'm not saying this person is or isn't attractive. This was just a rant about modeling in general.
But the consistent commenting on it was a reminder to me that like something is happening for him. Has nothing to do with me or my armpits. Oh my God.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with that. It is really about him and what he's doing, and that's none of my business. It's none of our business when somebody cannot move themselves towards liberation.
Well, your brother seems to be caught up on hegemonic norms, and that's the problem here.
We can try our best to give them the tools, try our best to justify it.
Try our best to give them the tools? God, how pretentious are you? That's the hilarious thing about this entire movement. So many of these people are pretentious. The pretentiousness of this movement never stops cracking me up. Imagine an alcoholic trying to get all uppity with you and be like, it's the biases and all this shit. You're just like, bro, you're drunk, okay? Sit down.
And at the end of the day, they have to also have the will and the want to become liberated.
And that's the tricky part, you know? Making these plebs want to be liberated from these hegemonic beauty standards is the difficult part because the average person is so dumb that they don't even realize that they're at the mercy of these hegemonic beauty standards. Dullards. Alright, so that was weird. I disagree with all of the aforementioned. So what do you think? Do you think it's discrimination when a store doesn't carry a size over a 28? Is it discouraging people from eating right and exercising for the rest of their lives because we couldn't fit into that one costume in high school that one time? And are you conforming to hegemonic beauty standards if you don't want to be with somebody that's obese or has armpit hair? leave a comment below. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Anyway, that about does it. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one.